Hello, everyone. Welcome to another outstanding and truly nightmarish episode of Jacob's Ladder. I am Jacob Israel. Welcome to the show. I'm giving it my all, even though I don't feel up to being as perky as I am, but there's so much to get into that we must start at the beginning. And the best way to start would be is if you all told me in the live chat, that's right, I'm going to check it out right now, that you can hear me okay. Because it's really important to be heard. If I'm not heard, what's the point of that, huh? This is a spooky one. All the things that are going on right now, just insanity. And I think I've peeled back some layers. Yeah, a lot of layers. Thank you, Lauren Sawyer. I appreciate that. Such a great supporter of the channel. Let's get into it. A lot of fashion news. A lot of crazy things. Before I went on the air tonight, I saw Mitch McConnell was talking about things that we're going to get into. We're going to get into it because it is a world in chaos. And because that world is in such chaos, we need everyone's prayers, especially when people like yourselves go through hard times. And one of our Israelites out there, as I like to call you, is going through a hard time. We want to give a lot of prayers for Tammy, her son. It's a terrible thing to lose someone that you love, and we are praying for you, and we love you, Tammy. We're sorry. But Tammy, she points out all the madness that's going on in the world, right? You can't not think that there's something up. There's something up. But did you know that it maybe has to do with, like, kooky comets that are coming our way, and maybe zombies and other things, and, like, ancient things that start with a V and end with an S, like rhymes with Cyrus coming out from Antarctica. Not to mention, of course, one of our favorite topics here on the program, because most interesting person around, Elon Musk has been, I don't know, he must work for like some kind of an organization, maybe like the Department of Defense or something, something, maybe he's like a code guy, and they're looking for people to unlock these codes. That's why he puts out all these interesting cryptic texts that I just can't help but unravel. And I think today you're going to be shocked and a little scared at what we find. So let's just start off with the fact that he himself has been tweeting out and trying to wake people up to what's going on. Look at the right-hand side of the screen there. Another one of those, right? I don't care about the latest one of these. Yes. Not to mention, he also tweeted out on November 28th, he's at war right now with the old Apple. With the old Apple. You know the Apple? A lot of people with the I got the iPhone here, right? You got the old Apple right there. There it is. And they say it's the forbidden fruit. It's interesting taking the bite out of the okay. That's whatever it is. But there's a revolution going on right now. And it's going to lead somewhere pretty spooky. It's pretty spooky. This is really strange. He's got a lot of hero worship going on, Elon. A lot of people. I mean, really, what he's doing, I prayed years ago. I was like, if they be corrupt, reveal the corruption. Let us know what's going on. And it seems like one thing after another thing is being revealed. And we're starting to see, my goodness, look at how creepy everybody is, especially in fashion. I know one of your heroes, and I say one of yours, because not all of you, some of you really think that this guy we're going to be talking about, he's on the thumbnail. Let's take a look at Ye. Right? And a lot of you think that he's like a hero, right? But I told you that you would think he was the hero. I said this, and maybe by the end of the show, you'll question whether or not he is this godly man who's standing up and showing everybody what's been as if he didn't know what was going on with Bale Tiaga. I want to say things weird so that, we don't get tripped up. It's so crazy that we got to talk this way. Maybe Elon will buy YouTube next, and then we won't have to worry. Or will we? I don't know. But he does have a lot of people that are very fond of him. Now, I'm starting off easy, by the way, people. This is like I'm easing into the really, the truly, like if I hit you with the hammer that I got waiting for you by the end of the show, it would be way too much in the beginning. And most certainly would probably have a little bit of a problem getting out there. And I think we need a lot of people to get this show out there because it's spooky. Yeah, just by hitting the like, that's all you got to do. But this was, I guess, someone is a fan of Elon's, and that was his wallpaper. Just like I was saying, where he said the Twitter files on free speech suppression is going to be published. I did say, right? I did say that was going to happen too. Yeah, I said the polls were going to happen. There's a picture of him. He kind of looks like Pilate or Caesar. I said that was going to happen. I said these things. Now, why? Because the guy puts out all these little interesting tweets long before it happens. And for the people that pay attention, it's almost like, is he telling us things? Because the thing that I think I unraveled, I don't know if it's something that I'm not looking forward to it, for sure. So, okay, let's before we get into all the crazy fashion world news and the book of Revelation and how this all ties in, let's just take a look at, this is his bedside table. Okay, so this was, Elon put this out, and it's a, people thought that it was a legitimate, firearm, which it really isn't. It's a mock-up. As you take a look at it, it doesn't have a trigger. I know a lot of people are doing shows on this right now, okay? I know a lot of people are doing stuff on this, and they're unraveling it, and, you got George Washington crossing, and you got the water bottle in the background. You got the coaster rings, right? And the Diet Cokes. And, of course, that interesting. Everybody's like, oh, it's the Tibetan this. It's the, it's just, there's a little more. There's a little more. You're going to find out. It's not what you thought. I could be wrong. I'm a speculator. But I'm telling you, this is something that you have to witness for yourself. Because it's spooky. Well, there you have a picture of his bedside table next to the swamp crossing. We know who's crossing that swamp, right? Do we know? Anybody going to tell me in the chat who's that guy? Swamp monster himself. He's going to clear the swamp, drain the swamp. He's going to come under a lot of fire. You watch, because of this whole thing with Ye. Some people told me that Ye doesn't mean light and that it means you. In Chinese, Ye is light. Just saying. Khan, I think of like a Khan. The light. Would it be like a false light? I'm going to say it is. I'm going to say, we don't really know a man's heart, but I'm saying the delusion is strong, people. This great delusion is strong. The people that love me and that watch this channel on a regular basis, they're upset with me posting some things out about Ye, about the light of the world, who's going to be president, right? So this crossing, of course, is a big deal. 240 years ago, Washington suffered through Valley Forge. This was a revolution, if you will. Same time we have that going on, right? Now, a lot of people were like, hey, that little gizmo kebabi that he had next to him, they say, oh, it's this. Check this out. Claire showed me this. She was the first one to show me that this is a ancient thunderbolt that would be used for, like Zeus used it, Indra originally, the god of rain and thunder and lightning, and Jupiter, which would be the Roman god. And since we're in Rome right now, and this is what's happening, and it's all being revealed, like every timeline is coming together. You gamers out there, this is gonna get you excited. I don't know if I'm correct with this, but it's freaking weird. Weird. And how do I figure this out? When Ethan, by the way, the old EE, he's not, let me pull this up so you can just take a look at this too. He's really not doing that great. So I'd appreciate everybody's prayers if at all possible, because his ears are really jacked up. He got the old. It's not the first time he's had it, but he's got it now, and he's had it for about 6 days or so, and not doing that great. Not doing that great. Poor guy. It's he's just having a hard time. So say your prayers for him. But he's a trooper. He's a trooper. So just getting this show together was a little tough for me. It was a little tough just because it is what it is. So we have, of course, this thing that you're looking at right over there. See it right over there? It looks all freaky, and some people are saying that it's this, which I think there's more to it than that. I really do. I really do. Oh my goodness gracious! When you all see the Easter eggs that have been laid down for you, it is going to blow your mind, just like lightning. It's going to be like lightning from heaven above. That's what Revelation is. So I get this, I guess it was this morning from Catman. I saw a reply to a post. I tried to retweet it. It was deleted. Got a strange screenshot of it. Very strange. This golden rod talks about controlling the world. And I'm like, whew, I perked up. What is this? I say. I think to myself, this is strange. What does that have to do with zombies? And there's like a zombie, what rhymes with Cyrus that was just unveiled, something like 50,000 years old. I've been talking about the old zombies for a while too. Some people think that, it's coming. It's coming. Whether it's going to come from some kind of a strange comet or it's already, by natural means. I don't know. It's not great. But the Easter eggs, it's rich. So I'm thinking, Black Ops, zombies. You send little tweets over to Anthony and Noah because I know they used to play this. And I get a little inside scoop. This is exciting. All right. So, but let's, if you don't know about Elon's tweet, there it is once again. I don't think that he does these. I don't think this is like his legitimate bedside table. I'm gonna call cap on that. I really think that there is more to. I think he's trying to show somebody something. I think he's trying to show us something. And so the question is, well, what is it? Because every time that we dig deep into what he's sharing, we find out some things that are rather unnerving. And this one, definitely is going to be unnerving for all of you. That's why I kind of started the show a little bit sooner with this information than the others. But there's the set of books, the Books of American Wisdom, that was in the background behind that water bottle that you're looking at right there. And it's pretty interesting that a lot of people have been looking into this water bottle to see, well, what is it? And I think I figured it out because the image is, it's on the other side of the bottle. So you might need to look into, say, like a mirror and find out. But, why are these books here? And that's a question, especially because, is he such like a historian buff, or is he trying to tell us a story? I think he's trying to tell us a story. And I think it's one of these things where we're gonna be startled when we find out if I'm right. So this bottle, let's take a look at it. If you, I blew it up and I said, well, what does it say? Some people are like, oh, it's a date. It's going to happen at the World Cup, which I think these are all interesting things. But you got to remember, I'm already looking into zombies, Black Ops, and all this stuff. And I didn't have all the pieces of the puzzle, but things just started to come together. So I look at the bottle and I look at it backwards. And I can't make out all the words, all the letters together. But it has to be one of two things. And the first thing is a place, of course, in in Germany. Town called, a town in Estonia, which of course is pivotal in what's going on today. Ironic. And also, you know that game, Yahtzee? You ever play Yahtzee? We're going to use that word for the Yahtzees, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of Yahtzee talk, which is just really disturbing to me. So, turns out that town and Estonia is also in Call of Duty Endgame, where in 2025, World War IV breaks out, okay? So, of course, this is a video game, right? So I think, oh, well, it could be this, or it could be Werner Heisenberg, guy who wins the Nobel Prize, and he's in physics, and, well, there's also another Heisenberg, because, if we're talking about Black Ops, this video game, and soon I'm going to give you so much evidence, it's going to be hard for you to say, okay, I can see how you came up with all this. You're going to see. But that bottle, like, if it's that guy's name, or if it's that place, which it probably isn't, right? But let's just go with it. It fits with the rest of the story, so there's a good possibility that it's either this place that's connected to the Yahtzees, or it's this guy, which is connected to also zombies, Resident Evil. It's very strange. Now, notice the bottom, right-hand corner of the screen. You'll probably see that's Call of Duty Vanguard. And you probably also noticed the tridents on either side. Now, that game came out a little while ago. Thank you, Amy Stumbo, for your super chat. You are amazing, too. By the way, if I ever missed your super chat, always email me, okay? And we have about 2,000 people watching. That's why I'm really excited, because this is good. This is good. Because it's freaky. It's freaky and it's good. So that name, whether it's on the bottle or not, that place, whether it's on the bottle or not, still kind of goes along with all this, because I start uncovering all of these stories, these things. Like that thing that everybody was saying was this, the lightning bolt, the weapon. Well, you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Let me tell you what it is. It's like an Easter egg. You know what an Easter egg is? Okay, let me pull this up and let me show you. An Easter egg, something that's like tucked away. So what happens is I get these little promptings. Like people ask, how do you do these shows? How does this happen? How do these things come together? How do you put stuff? I have no idea. I wasn't really, I was so concerned and consumed with Ethan, and just heartbroken over the whole thing that's going on right now with the whole, fashion world, and seeing so many people that that watch the channel and that I care about, basically thinking that I'm somehow misled. Quoting the book of Revelation to me, synagogue of Satan. Yeah, we're going to talk about what that really is towards the end. Disturbing to me. But you look up there, and what do you see? That's the exact same thing on that table. That's the exact same thing on that table. It's that's what it is, okay? It's called the golden rod. That's what it is. I mean, if you look, you could take a look. It's the same thing. And that comes from the zombie game. That has to do with the Yahtzees. Strange how this all, kind of takes place. Very strange to me. Okay, it gets a lot stranger. Before I show you this, let me just show you a picture of this one more time so we can get it in our minds right there. Okay, that's the table. Okay? And I want you to pay attention. Look at those circles, the circles, like intertwining loops, if you will. Like an 8 is a loop. It's the Ouroboros, the beginning and the end, a cycle. All of these cycles looping together, these timelines looping together. I saw an interesting, a very funny tweet where someone said, people that are like, adore Elon Musk, say, oh, it's this and it's that. They're talking about the Coast of Rings, and Elon Musk be like, whoops. I don't think Elon Musk is a whoops kind of guy. I think he's the kind of guy that's going to put something right in front of your face, and it's going to be right there. And it's like the whole story's there, but no, everybody's too blind and too uninspired to look for it. Maybe he's telling us things. Maybe he's trying to open our eyes to things. Or maybe he's recruiting. You know? I'm not saying he is, but maybe he is. Let's take a look at this one more time. And this is going to, this is weird. Okay, so the zombies, it has a trailer, okay? Let me just say hi to you. Thank you, Amy, again, and thank you, Ireland. I appreciate that, Ireland. Thank you so much. Okay, so here is their the official Call of Duty Black Ops. And as you start off, it's like in the beginning. It takes place in the beginning, in the ether, right? That there are these people. They're called the Keepers, Watchers, if you will. Among them, okay? They're going to be these two beings. He's going to be like the Christ and the Antichrist, Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man. Okay, let's just keep watching because this is where it gets freaky. And as this is going on, we see all of these dates and these timelines, these circles coming together. Illumination. What is September 29th? What is November 5th? What is all of these dates? Makes the game seem interesting, right? Very interesting. But in a second, it's going to get even more interesting. All of these just little clues that I'm watching it and I think, oh, this looks cool, whatever. Did you notice that little gun right there? Let me see if I can just pull this up. I didn't notice this the last time. You notice that little gun? Okay, let's keep going. There's the monkey. And then there is the golden rod, which is an Easter egg. And, I wish I had more time to even research this more. But it's very important when it has to do with, some people think it has to do with time travel. Very important, though. Now watch this as these things start to come together. I know now what I must do. What the heck does that look like? Come on. Is it me? Is it me? Let me come back here for a second. Let me just come back here and let me just make sure that I'm not losing it here. Okay? Because I think perhaps that, now you see how I do things behind the scenes. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at that, huh? Look at that. There you go. And then here I am. Huh? Am I losing it? Doesn't it look like the rings? I'm gonna pull these rings up for you in a sec. Doesn't it kind of look? But I mean, it resembles it. Elon went out of his way to point this out. The coasters. Why is this important? Because this would be yet another thing that has to do with zombies, right? Okay. Are we getting some? You know what? I'm going to have to come over. I'm going to put this up. I'm going to have to come over into the chat just to see if I'm making any sense. Am I making sense to you? Is it working? Because we got like 2,300 people watching. That's a lot of people. I'm not used to talking about such goofy things at this hour. I'm usually asleep. Is it making sense to you? Because I think there's something to this. I really do. Those rings, strange, right? Let me just pull this over again, and let me just show you one more time what it looks like. So we have all of these connections that are being made, all based on what? A random tweet? A random tweet? Look at this. He said, oh, my lack of coaster use is something abhorrent. It kind of looks like a bunch of rings. Water rings. Call of Duties. Now, it's time to relive the story of the undead. Now, what's really interesting is if you zoom in, you can see there's the Crusaders cross right there. You can see things that look like it's taking place right now in the country that's building a lot of little mini boxable apartments for people for when they get, put there. We're going to talk about that too. Like, why are they building over there? Why are they building so much? Like, what's going on, right? Like, what's going on with all of this stuff? It's really spooky. So those rings are something that really got me thinking. Maybe I need to look even deeper. So I try to match the gun up, right? I'm looking for I see the flintlock gun. I'm like, what's that about, right? I see the other thing. There's no, what is it about? We're going to find out. It's very interesting. Now, at the same time, I would say maybe a little bit later on the same day that he tweets out this bedside table. Now, could you imagine? Now, he's like probably the most powerful man on the planet, okay? Satellites everywhere. You know, he's going to probably take on Apple. He's going to probably have the Musk phone, right? The Musket phone, because he said, my name is now Elon Musket. Get it? Musket. And I wrote Musk E.T. Get it? Like he's extraterrestrial from Mars. Occupy Mars. Mars is occupying. It's already happened, you know? So I'm just joking, of course. But he tweets out things. And, you know, what if maybe he's like one of the good guys? Who knows? You know, maybe he's trying to give people inside scoop without them, you know, with him being like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is my bedside table. I drink a lot of caffeine-free Diet Coke. And I always leave a mess in my house. I don't have anybody clean up after me. You know, that wasn't done or staged or anything. It wasn't. After he puts this out and says there's no excuse for my lack of coasters, which draws everybody's attention to what? All these timelines coming together. All these stories, all these time travel. That's the thing. Time. It's Mandela effect, all this stuff, right? Like the world we're living in, this was not the world we were living in before all that hoopla down there at CERN, right? Remember those days when everything was normal? Okay. Greetings, I'm Musket, Elon Musket, Muskie. Okay, so a little bit later, because of course now he's in this battle with the old Apple. He puts out this little thing that's from Fortnite. Okay? Now, why am I thinking Fortnite? Because, of course, I have two, now grown men, 22 and 21, who I'm super proud of and like just amazing. College and working hard and just great all around young men with hearts and passions. And just I'm so proud of all my family. And I knew they played these games. So I asked him a question. I say, hey, did Fortnite have zombies? I'm not playing. I am now playing VR. There's this game called Gun Raiders. I got into it with Ethan and with Noah because I got that the thing that's going to take over my mind by Facebook, the Oculus, and I'm really good at it. Like I'm really good at that game. But I was never a gamer. That's now my little I reward myself for a half an hour. I play one game like every other day or so. Hopefully every day because I'm really good. I feel like a superhero when I'm in there. Hey, if you look up Jacob Israel, if you ever play. So he puts out this thing with Fortnite. Now Fortnite just so happens to have a flintlock. That's the lower corner. Now once again, I could be completely wrong. And I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm not saying I've cracked the code. I'm saying there's certain things that I'm sure on. And there are other things that I'm trying to fill in the blanks here. And if you look at the right-hand corner of the bottom, those are from Save the World, Fortnite. Zombies. What's with all the zombie references, Jacob? Right? I'm getting there. I'll show you. He also tweeted out that The Simpsons predicted that he buys Twitter in the episode about aliens. Basically Musk comes down, the man from Musk from something. I forgot the name of the, there's a show, Man from Mars or something, Musk. The whole episode was about him coming down in the Dragon rocket and everything else. And this says home tweet home. And Elon said, The Simpsons predicted me buying Twitter. Maybe, but I did. I definitely did. You know, if you're watching, I probably inspired you to. I'm not saying I did, but, I don't know. It seemed clear to me back in the beginning of the Birdwatch days, especially. You all should go back and look because what happens here is I say random things that I'm inspired to say. And next thing you know, it happens. Or I'll have a weird dream and I'll talk about it. And I won't say, oh, the Lord has told me because I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time. I'm just a meatball, a meatball that God has this, God's using this meatball. I'm a spicy meatball. And it's working out. But he shared this saying that the Simpsons predicted him buying and ironically, I was just looking into this zombie episode where this is The Simpsons predicting the end of the world, where the zombies come on in and, that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Spooky. Just interesting to me because, well, I think, okay, there's this. I bet you there's a zombie virus out there somewhere. I said the word. That's all right. We're probably long into it already. I should be good. So yeah, 50,000-year-old zombie, rhymes with Cyrus, revived from the ice. Now, what's weird about that, of course, is that if I had a little more time, I would have clipped it and showed it to you, talked about this too. A couple of years ago, they were drilling down and they were looking. And I said, this is what's going to happen. They're going to reveal, it's going to be released into the world and it's going to be the next big thing. And here they're making a big deal out of it. Comparing it to Pandora, the box that was open, Pandora. What if it's not something from there, though? I'm just saying. What if it's fake news, right? What if there's really nothing that was unearthed? What if there's nothing? Like they bring it up to like, how do they? Oh, look, it's this. I don't know. They're going to run it under things. What are they going to do? How do they know? Maybe something else is going to happen, and this is going to be one of those things that they that they use as an excuse for something that maybe Elon's tweeting out about. Yahtzee crazy people doing crazy types of experiments and getting, making everybody nuts, crazy, walking in circles and doing all sorts of weird things, falling over while you're doing live streams and stuff. Who knows if any of it's real, right? That's the thing. We don't know. But it's fun to speculate. It's fun to talk about because this is the most interesting show. We're all a part of it. You're the lead character. You're the hero. This is our journey. You got to find out that you're more than you think you are. Faith is so important today, people. Love is the ultimate, people. Unless you want to deal with a bunch of other bad stuff, it's going to get tough. Who's going to lead the way? Who's going to be the lighthouse, right, Boca? That's my buddy Boca. He put out a lighthouse. I said, that's so funny. I just was on a great show, Our Everyday Lives. You should check out his channel. I just did, we had a nice talk. Michael, great guy. He's from New York too. He looks like if there was like a before and after, he's the before. He's like a young guy. He's got the beard and the long hair. He's like, I tell him, I go, you're like the cover of like one of those books, that the old miserable lonely ladies read, the romance books. And I go, and here's the older guy. That's me. I jest. But he had called me a lighthouse, and he was talking about how we're lighthouses, like within the beginning of the show. Jim Carrey just puts out this lighthouse thing. So I find it all strange that I think people are going to need a lighthouse. I think they're in the darkness right now. I think that there's something that's really, everybody feels it, right? I mean, you can't help but not feel that there's something coming. Who knows what? But it's I hope it's not zombies. I really do. So 50,000-year-old Pandora rhymes with Cyrus. Amoeba. It's an ancient amoeba. All right, one single cell, one. You watching the old WWE? Ones, right? All that weird stuff. They do that at the rallies for the Trumpster too. This is all. I think there's something more to that too. Roman Reigns and the bloodline. That was just War Games. It was like a computer thing. Remember the movie War Games? They just had this Survivor Series. All of this is. I used to be the writer for wrestling, if you're new to the show, between 99 and 2001, when it was really great. I used to write for you, Triple H. Remember when you got way over? It was just me and one other guy. They could use me because they lost like half the audience after I left, ironically. They're still doing great. But on record, who knows what happens when the blessing of God leaves, right? I used to read the Bible on the plane. Must have drove them nuts. They were what they were. I've always been a wrestling fan. I think that their stories could be better. I really do. They really need a great writer. Oh my goodness. If you're watching, somebody, give me just let me take over just for a month and let me put some, because can you imagine what I could share out there like I used to do with the Right to Censor? I used to put out Fight the Good Fight of Faith, and I used to have scripture. They didn't even know what I was doing. Could you imagine I do it now? You give me the control? That'd be fun. All right, back to this. So this is a big deal. It's real. It's but it could be some kind of fake news type of a thing. Maybe there are already zombies going around and around and around. Of course, we've heard about the sheep. We've heard about the horses. We've heard about the ants. If I see one more, don't send me any more videos of ants and cell phones, okay? Or of course that movie Cell. That movie Cell with John Cusack, where everybody walks around in circles. Or even I think with the movie Frozen, when the reindeer go circle, circle, circle. Just weird, right? Well, 4 months ago, I really felt like zombies were going to become like a big thing. And if you go back, you can check this out. We talked back then about a movie that's in the theaters right now, and it has to do with Cain and Ableism, right? Eating other people. Well, they got the human plant-based burger that you can have. So mind-controlled, flesh-eating zombies was what the show was about. So I find it strange that it seems like Elon was tweeting out about that. But you're going to say, that's still thin. That's still thin. Well, hopefully you're still with me. Are you still with me? Let me come over to the live chat. Make sure you're still with me, because this is where the show, it takes on a whole new thing. It really does. This is the day we're in. The day we're in. Very, very spooky. Wow, look at these super chats. For the love of country. Oh, I'm on fire tonight. I'll pray for myself. Thank you so much. That was really nice. You did. It was huge super chats. I don't know how you can afford it. I don't know. I'm getting by. Listen, sharing the video and hitting like is the best thing you can do. It's this is where it gets weird. This is where it gets really weird. Zombies. Okay, so on November 26th, you see, this guy, our buddy, right? Our buddy Elon. Guys who, voice of the people's the voice of God. That's what Pilate did. I'm bringing the sink in. I did a whole show about that, remember? I said he was going to create the poll for Trump, and now Trump's back. He's creating a poll for everybody. I think it's great. I think it's great. People got to learn to encourage people. You can't just shut people out in life, so I think it's great. With, of course, he's keeping everything within reason, which is even better, because you can't be having people, dox people or threaten people. Strange. So right now, the Earth has eight. There's that number again, 8. The Ouroboros, the beginning and the end. Are we at the end? Is the comet with the zombies coming? Or are the zombies already here? Saw a spooky meteor that supposedly landed into the ocean. It was just going around. Saw Derek retweeted it out from of a Willing Witness. He changed his name from Global Witness to Willing Witness. I like that. The Earth now has 8 billion humans. So this guy wants everybody to kind of just say goodbye and go to the country that now allows it. You just go and do it peacefully. Just relax and just die. Just die. Well, Elon tweeted out he's infected with a mental version of this physical virus. Now, you know why that stuck out to me? Because I did a show about that particular Smithsonian article I covered. that where you have these, it's like a fungus, or it just takes over. It takes over, and or you have wasps that can come in and they mind control you. Walk around like you're a zombie, dying. And that's what he was sharing. These parasites. Parasites found in ant bodies tell us that Hollywood stories of the undead may be closer to the truth than fiction. Hollywood stories. Video games. Secret messages hidden in coaster rings. Somebody call somebody. I jest, but I'm not jesting. Relive the story of the undead. So, he was tweeting about mind-controlled zombies. Just like a couple of days. Help! Help! I'm in a good mood. Because I worked really hard to put all this together, and it was hard because Ethan's finally doing good. The fever broke, and he's resting. Got another doctor's appointment with him tomorrow. He's on like amoxicillin. He's on eardrops. He's on this, and he's just an awesome dude. Cain and Abel. Some people say that that's a story of it's short for when you eat zombies. They are right. It's interesting. Cain is a picture of the carnal man, the ignorant, the ego, the antichrist man. We have Abel is a shepherd. Cain was a killer. Abel was a shepherd. It's a picture of the duality in men. Two men in Black Ops. I forgot the guy's name. It was like Dr. Lindy or something. I don't play video games. And the Shadow Man. So it'd be like the Shadow Man and Christ, right? Okay, so you got this epic battle that's going on. And this is the noose. This is the shirt that's going around, which is tied in to, of course, the show that we are talking about right now. This very disturbed lady who is a designer for these two huge companies. Adidas was started by Yahtzees. Just saying. When they booted Kanye, when they booted him, they brought in somebody who said that all of the Jews should be cast into the Red Sea. She's a model. Her name escapes me, but she's now like their spokesperson. It's because we're in that moment, right? Where it's everybody's going to hate. Now, if you look at it spiritually speaking, the world wants to devour, cannibalize, right? The world wants to, that truth. That truth. This is an epic operation of psychology that I believe is probably massive in scale and probably very expensive, or it's just a strange coincidence and we've just, or we're in just some kind of an exciting movie, which for somebody's dark pleasure, because it's gotten just icky. It's just gotten icky. The story just continues to get more and more icky. But we've been praying on the show. I said this. I said, I'm going to call the light. I'm going to say, we're entering into a time right now where if they be corrupt, it's a hashtag. I'm going to make a shirt. That's a good idea of that. If they be corrupt, God reveal it. We see a lot of that being revealed right now. It's revealed. It's broadcast right in your face, and people want to justify their own hate and latch onto it, and they want to support it, and they want to fuel the fans of this flame of this, and they want to inflame you. Do you think billionaires are really fighting for your rights? Maybe they are. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Do you think that Elon's really giving us secret messages? Or have we all gone crazy? Maybe he is, and maybe we are. I I'm going to call Bologna on the fact that what Kanye is doing is, I warned about this. I've talked about him. I said, you got to be careful because it's hate is not godly. And if you come in God's name today, God is going to strike you down. You don't want to live in fear. You just want to know that your actions, they must be sincere. They must be rooted in love. He's an arrogant man who storms out of interviews. You feel bad for him. But what if it's all an act? What if it's all some kind of a... Because this is dark. Because you can't tell me that this guy... People are giving me a hard time because I tweeted out. Let me just show you this picture. Okay? Let me show you this picture. I tweeted this out. What's in his mouth? That was right before he was dropped. Now, in the background, that's him opening their 2023 women's line. I covered this story. I talked about this. And I said if they'd be corrupt, go back and watch that show. I was going to clip it. I didn't have time. I did the whole thing. Remember where I was talking about it? You saw it. I was talking about how dark it was. And the whole time I thought that I was showing you and I wasn't. I must have looked silly. And then I showed you everybody quick where everybody was walking around. They looked like it was the apocalypse. It was the end of the world. They had like terrible clothes. They had like no clothes. They were walking around like in the dirt and the mud. It was dark. Kanye opened that up. I'm the only one exposing them. I did a video just recently, my last show. Now, because of course I taped the show like before all this happened, and then with Ethan getting sick and I already had Noah had an abscess, and there was just a lot of things going on. I didn't know about this yet, but I've been tweeting it. That's why you got to follow me on Twitter, Jacob Israel 71. I even paid $8. I got the blue check, right? It's really me. Yeah. So people were upset with me. He's fighting for the truth. Been watching me for years. Know my heart. Know that I'm going to respond to you, and I'm going to email you privately so I can ask you, hey, why are you upset? But he's right. Let's take a look at who we're talking about. Guy who, his very first musical that he does is Nebuchadnezzar, right? His services were all in the all-seeing eye. Lakewood Church with Joel Osteen, the all-seeing eye. He walked on water. I told everybody, this is the guy. Told everybody a little while ago, I said, if you had the people to look at, you would have this guy would be the dragon, this guy would be the beast, this guy would be the false prophet. And I also reminded everybody that it's not these guys. These are just examples for us to learn from. Even his name alone sounds like the false light. Just sounds that way. I'm not saying that he is. I will say that and I've said this before, we serve two very, very different gods. Very, very different gods. But you know what? If you want to defend him, that's fine. That's fine because, you never know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about him. Adidas, who's known for Yahtzees, and Loda, who is very good, close to Ye. Back in 2016, they worked together for a long time. They Instagrammed each other. They were photographed together. You don't think that the crazy, nasty, scary stuff that she had on her page that she's deleted now, you don't think he never saw that? Kim Kardashian, they never saw this? None of them? They never saw this? It's witchcraft is what it is. It's witchcraft. Look at this. Do you remember who started walking around with the mask on? Like some specter from Harry Potter. We did shows about that back then. Talking about Christ. He did. He did. Very strange. So the guy's close. It's not like they it's not like they don't know each other. Paul Watson, who, once again, like I retweeted something from Ben, I don't even know the guy's last name. Oh, Shapiro. I'm not fans of these guys. I just saw something that was very appropriate. It said, look, if you dine with people that are known to be this, you can't, he's a smart guy. You can't tell me that he doesn't know. He knew what Kanye was talking about. He knew that seeing him would be, he's not dumb. So that tells me two things. Either A, we're taking over, or it's all part of the show. It's all part of the show. I don't know. That's the thing, because I don't know. But you judge a tree by its fruit. You judge a tree by its fruit. And a month ago, not even a month ago, Kanye released a video where he was trying to make Adidas, I think it were Adidas execs, uncomfortable by showing them really bad stuff, right? I talked about this. Starts with a P, ends with rhymes with horn. The guy gets so uncomfortable, he's like, come on, man. That is not a man of God. The God that I know. It could be a God of this world who thinks that it's okay to do something like that. That's somebody who's still ruled very much by the ego. You made me uncomfortable. You hurt my feelings. Now I'm going to do it to you. That was a month ago he aired this. Not even a month ago, or maybe it was a week ago. I don't even know. I'm going to pull it up in a second. But Watson wasn't joking either. He says, look, the notion that they were ignorant of the stuff that was going on, by the way, it had to do with bears. We've been talking about the bears on the show too, right? That bear is a spooky thing. Once again, this show would go on for 8 hours if I covered that as well. But I've talked about the bears, the two bears and Alicia and the young kids that were murdered, right? By the bears, mauled. All this stuff. It's, they knew. There's a picture of the two of them together. They had to know. How could they not? How could they not? If I see somebody tweet something and I'm going to be involved with them professionally and business-wise, I'm going to look into them. If I show up on people's shows, I'm not going to go dig research. I want to reach as many people as I can. So, if one day someone says, oh, this person was that or this, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not friends with these people. But if I'm friends with you, and that's a very small list, like very few friends, like people that I talk to on a regular basis, very few. I'm kind of a loner. I know who wants to talk to somebody like me, except for all of you, where we're all kind of being brought together. So, but if I'm going to do business with somebody, I'm going to look into them. And if I see, like weird things with little dolls, and I probably would have a problem. Not to mention the person was associated with a monster of children. But you tell me they didn't know? They didn't know. Okay, maybe they didn't know. Disgusted and outraged. She's not too happy about it. She's not too thrilled. Why would she be? Right? Why would she be? But she also didn't say, I'm done with them for good. Because, of course, they didn't know who they were dealing with. It was only their artistic director, Adidas. They didn't know. They didn't know. They didn't know. I do believe that's footage, pictures of Adidas apparel with people with spooky masks on. This is the stuff of nightmares. This is the stuff of nightmares. So when I posted this out, it got some people, it got them upset. Well, they shouldn't get that upset because we got bigger fish to fry. We got bigger things going on according to Elon's bedside table. We got zombie apocalypse heading our way. Weird. All witchcraft, right? MAGA, I've said this a million times. And without the periods, Latin for witchcraft, sorcery, wizard, from Simon Magus, the guy who seemed like he was a Christian, wanted to buy the power of the Holy Spirit. Give me that power. Magus, MAGA, highest form of Satanism, the highest level. So they're wearing these hats. He was known for wearing that hat, Mr. Ye. Known for wearing that hat all the time. You know what now he's known for wearing? The NASA hat. That's right. The NASA worm hat. Now he's wearing that. You know, just like Mr. Jones wears every time he goes on Joe Rogan. He wears that hat, which I always thought was so strange. Because it's like, I don't know the ins and outs of things. I do know the beginning of NASA. I do know their dark roots. You know? They have like series. It's like mainstream news. So I know the roots of it. Some people say that the word means deception in Hebrew. Who knows? Who knows? But I do know that I'm witty enough not to be wearing that merch. He's almost like wearing it to like show everybody. This is deception. This is witchcraft. Sorcery. You don't think so? Hang on. You'll agree very shortly. So, of course, Mr. Ye, he's now, he's saying that we need a Christian theocracy. When the movie Handmaid's Tale came out, the series, which is a great series on Hulu, there was something about the opening scene. It was like a protest, and then he opened fire. Pew, 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 pew. And I thought, for some reason, what if that happens here? I did a whole show about it. About how there was going to be this crackdown in the century. It was like really a forward-thinking show. And now, hearing this, there is an army of people that think he's a hero and want the same thing. Yahtzees. I'm not saying they're all that way. I'm not saying everybody that thinks that what he's doing is a good thing. He represented them, supported them, did business with them, wore spooky bondage masks, showed his wife in inappropriate pictures to people he worked with, recently releasing a documentary where he's shoving rhymes with horn in people's face. Christian theocracy? Or is it a big show? Who do they want? When Pontius Pilate came out with the sink to wash his hands, he offered 2 saviors. Who do you want? A lot of people seem to want someone like Kanye as opposed to someone like Christ. That's the truth. People are quoting scripture to me. Not like I'm the end all. This is my life. This is my passion, is to know God, to know the things of God. Teach me the truth no matter what the cost. It's a shirt that I wear. It's a prayer that I pray every day. I blow the shofar before I come on. I go, oh, Lord, help me. I'm exhausted. I don't feel great. I'm worried about my son. I'm worried about the bills. I got all of these things going on at once. And I'm going to now talk about what I know a majority of people don't want me to say is about, because they want to be upset and blame somebody else too. They want to blame other people. If we only get rid of them, we'll be fine. Peterson, when he came back, remember I did a show about him? People didn't like that. Tate, remember I did a show about him? People didn't like that. Because what they all profess to be these like enlightened spiritual people. You see this? This is psychology. When you do this, that means that you're defending yourself. Right? I feel like I need to defend myself as I'm saying these things because I know that it's touchy. Because Barabbas is very appealing. They screamed, give us Barabbas, and then said, let Christ's blood be on us. That's today. That's happening today, and it's going to get worse. Maybe the zombies come, and we won't have to worry about all of that. Or maybe it's a spiritual allegory of the mind virus that Elon was talking about. It's craziness. He wants to reinstate the same man who wears the same hat. Listen, I don't have a problem with anybody. I don't have a problem with any of that. I watch him. You know, I don't know if he's an operation of sorts, but it started with him. Do you know I did a show before he got cut off from everything, where for whatever reason, I put a picture of him in the center. I should pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up. In the meantime, let me pull this up and show you something great. Do you know, by the way, I've never broke 3,000 in a live chat and we're close? Do you know I'm only like 5,000 away from 200,000 subs? It's never happened before. Please do me a favor. I forget to tell everybody this. People get unsubbed all the time. Check to make sure you're subscribed. And if you aren't, will you please subscribe again? And if you are new to the channel, give me a chance. Hit subscribe. Check the bell so you don't miss anything. I promise you'll be happy. So, American Horror Story, Coven. Does anybody watch this? Did anybody watch it, I should say? Because I can't get into the American Horror Story. It scares me. It really does. Dark stuff scares me. My daughter always kind of laughs because she says, it's like you're such a scaredy cat when it comes to these things. I don't like dark stuff. It just bothers me. It really does. It really bothers me. But it's just me. I'm just a big baby. So in Coven, because that was the witchcraft one, there was a witch that was burned at the stake. And if you look to the right of that 7 months ago, there's a picture of Joan of Arc being burned at the stake. And if you look to the right of that, you have the video that I did right before, because these two videos were intertwined, where I said Pandora's box unleashed. And above that video, you see the Pandora, rhymes with Cyrus, has been unleashed. And you see, of course, the comet coming in, and it reminds me of the Simpsons and the zombies and all that stuff. Very strange. But why I find this interesting is that I talked about these, we'll say, witch burnings, okay, back then, and tied it into all the stuff that we're hearing right now. And what's weird, all this darkness, do you know what her last word was? Is that strange? That the very last thing that this woman says in this show is, that's weird, right? Spooky. Spooky and weird. Spooky and weird. Pandora, the Pandora rhymes with Cyrus. From the Arctic, the zombie rhymes with Cyrus. We got every political leader saying, we must thwart the next one. And the news coming out, there's this terrible thing. And we see all these videos of all these things going around, circles. It's all strange. It's all spooky. And we also have the madness with the man who everybody thinks is working for the Lord, which maybe I'm totally blinded, but I do know that God uses everybody, and I do know that this is going to help some people maybe find out that they should love. They shouldn't find a target as to why their life is the way it is right now. Love is the most important thing. Do you know, everywhere I've worked, if people have come against me or have done something wrong to me, if they've wronged me, if they've threatened me, I never raised my hand. Because I knew, the scriptures say very clearly, it was a promise that God gave to Abraham. It's a promise that God has given to all of you. I will bless those that bless you, and cursed be those that curse you. Cursed be those who curse you. I don't need to take an eye for an eye. Talked about this on our everyday lives. Talked about this. You should watch that if you get a chance. Go back and check his show out. He's a cool dude. Eye for an eye. You let God avenge. It's not like somebody does wrong to you, so you're allowed to wrong them. No, because you may have somehow deserved it. It may have been a judgment to you because you did something else. Because God corrects people. That's the good news. When hard times come, it's either to make you stronger, to get you ready. It's always to make you stronger, to get you ready for what's next. But many times it's a correction. Many times it's our own foolishness. And you see people doing the same thing over and over and over again and making the same mistake over and over and over again, never taking responsibility and blaming everybody else. It's her fault. It's his fault. They're to blame. That's why my marriage is falling apart, because she just doesn't listen. He just doesn't listen. She just doesn't care. She just doesn't care. He doesn't care. It's my boss. It's the company. It's this, it's that. We always want to blame people. I get it. Makes us angry. But do we ever question that maybe these things are happening to us, for us? Smashing of the grape, pressing of the grape, ripping off of the flesh, stewing of the grape becomes the wine. Irritation of the oyster becomes the pearl. These things, my friends, if you hate, it's going to get ugly for you in the days to come. You need to, hear me out. Here. You need to repent. You need to let go of excuses as to why your life is the way it is, and you need to just thank God, and you need to embrace it, and you need to do the right thing. Maybe you don't have a job, but maybe you can have one if you have faith that you do, and you actually get out of the door and go look for the job instead of making excuses. These are the things that I say to, my friends, not a lot of them. I encourage people that email me, to my family members. I say, you have to believe something is possible, but you need to take the steps to get there. Correction is an important thing. And when you're doing wrong, it should be evident. The tree is known by its fruit. When you are calling yourself, I am the light. Years earlier, somebody wrote a Bible replaced God with his name. All these things are very strange. When you have Manson, of all people, horrible what happened to Rachel Wood. These are the people that you associate with. And now he's associating with other people that I don't know that well. I don't know much about them. Why don't I know much? Because you know what? I don't run in those circles. But I'll tell you one thing, if I was going to have a business meeting with them and I was the former president of the United States running for president again, I certainly would have had my advisors tell me, or they might have said, hey, listen, President, sir, maybe you should rethink this. The guy's going to ask you to be vice president. So, unless it's an operation. And is everybody in on it? I don't know. I got to tell you, man, Tim Pool, when I first saw him on Joe Rogan, when he was with Jack, and although they're all gone. I know Elon and Jack I think they're buds. Jack seems like look, on a surface level, besides doing the weird things that these people do, I can't tell you whether someone is good or bad. But if I look at the fruit and I see things like this, I just have to question anybody's sanity as to why you would think that it's okay to shove rhymes with horn in somebody's face, share. And I think the pictures, maybe he did it earlier, but this is a big deal. This is what he said, literally. This is the guy that he's with. He's on the plane with him now, walking around with him. That met with big effing deal. You had to go to a different school. Who cares? Better for them, better for us. And you're going to tell me he's right. He's right, Jacob. He's exposing the system. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. The scriptures say very clearly, you know why you believe it though? He'll give them over to the reprobate mind. You just believe it. You believe the lie because you've been so corrupted. So you have to be humbled. You'll be humbled. Good news is God works it all together for the good of those that love God. I love God. I love others. I love you. I'm hoping that this show encourages you to be a little bit more open to the idea of like not worshiping people that are destructive, and not worshiping anyone, but going and having your own relationship with the Creator who created you, who also empowered you. I said years ago, I did a video in 2015. I talked to my speckled sheep. Jacob, he was known for wrestling. I was known for wrestling. He worked for Laban, a sheep shearer. He was a shepherd. I was the head writer for the Christian network. I was shepherd, sheep shearer, right? They made the money off the flock. I fed the flock. They feed the flock too. I don't want to put them down. I'm just saying the symbolism of the story. That would be the equivalent. You go to work for a big network. I put my rods in the water when I was there. I created my website. I went on YouTube from the very early days, and I just put it in there, and I just knew, and I made a deal. I made a deal. I said, you know what? You give me the speckled. You give me the people that you don't, that the system doesn't want. You give me the people that they say, oh no, they're going to go to hell. I have a video on what hell really is, and you've seen it. You're seeing it. If you're at one of those mud-drenched, that's a picture of it. You're in it. The grave, Sheol, Hades. It's here now. Pluto has followed close behind. All of this stuff's happening now. But we get delivered out of it. Christ was sent here to set the captives of Noah's day free. That's in the scripture. The captives, we're captive here. We're held captive. Sadly, I worry that this zombie mind control thing that possibly the Nazis created because of Black Ops, I'm hoping that that's not a legit thing. I'm hoping that that's not something that's gonna, that we're gonna all of a sudden start seeing people acting really crazy, and if that does happen, I'm not too sure that it was taken out of the ice. I'll just say that. I'll just say that. And why? Elon's table told us so. Which I don't know. But let me address this whole and then let me get out of here because it's getting late for me. It really is getting late. I'm very grateful that you all are here, and I'm just so super blessed and lucky to be a part of all of this. It's to be able to create stuff like this on a regular basis is very cool to me. So here you see at the bottom of that thumbnail, everybody's looking for a way through the swamp. And what better guy, right? What better guy? This country, look, if you go back and you look at my videos, you go back a couple of years, 3 years, 4 years, you'll find I said the Great Divide was coming, and it's here. You'll find all of these things that we're talking about today. It's happening. It's happening. It's no joke. It's I talked about it back then, and now here it is, and it's freaky. It's freaky. But a lot of people are sending me these references to the synagogue of Satan. Well, you don't believe that the literal Israel is. I said, no, I'm Israel. I'm Jacob Israel. That's not your last name? No. God inspired me to take that name, just like my predecessor. You see? God gives us our last name. You can't tell me my last name. My stepfather, I took his last name. He adopted me. I never met my father. My mom was young. We were poor. My father stole everything, left me in a crib, and then took off. He was like a dealer. Bad guy. Never got to meet him, but I met my other brothers. My point is, I don't even know what my point is anymore. I got all hung up in a moment. I was just thinking about my past. It's like little old me. It's just so strange that we go through all these things, and yet God continues to move me from one place to another place to another place. So now here I am talking to all of you. All of you. And how many are here? We got 2,900 watching. I got all these, look at all these incredible super chats. Thank you, Katie. The world is going crazy. Thank you, SP. And if I miss you, I'm sorry. I really am. it's it's an interesting time for us all to be alive. But yeah, so they say to me, don't you know? I say, no, we're the Israel. See, Israel, behold Israel, my son. This is in the Old Testament. I called my son Israel, he who overcomes, the Prince of God. That's what it means. Jacob, Israel. Your name will no longer be called Jacob. Jacob means heel grabber. I want to be that first one. I want to be that guy. I want to be famous, right? I want to be that guy. I want to be the first one out. I want to be the first one. Almost to the point of faking it. Putting on a hair of your older brother to trick your dad. Like doing everything the way of the world. Trying to trick everybody. Trying to make everybody think that I'm just like everyone. I'm not like everybody else. I took that when God gave me my last name, like literally, there was a moment where I was like, no more messing around, no more trying to fit. I'm going to always try to speak the truth because I don't know what I'm doing. God leads me, just as he leads all of you. Please, I hope that you all just address this, look into it. So this is from the book of Revelation. And the angel of the church of Sardis writes these things. Saith he that has the 7 spirits of God and the 7 stars, and I know thy works. You know what the 7 spirits of God are? I'm not even going to tell you. That's the thing. If I tell you, you'll forget it. Look it up. Go look up the 7 spirits of God, 7 stars. You'll understand why this is important. Because if you got those 7, you need to be listening. Be watchful. Strengthen the things which remain. Encourage your subscribers, Jacob. Those people that are still doing okay. Encourage them. That are ready to die. Get people ready. Because things aren't going to be going the way you think unless you're ready. I've not found your works perfect before God. He's talking to the person who is supposed to be in charge of this area. Okay? Unto the angel of the church of Sardis, okay? These things says he that has the 7 spirits and the 7 stars. It's not saying that they do. Be watchful. Strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, for I have not found your works perfect. Remember, therefore, this is in the book of Revelation. You have these churches, and Christ speaks to these churches. People are using this as justification for sticking up for the light. It's interesting. Remember how you received and heard, and hold fast and repent. Remember the things I said. Listen to them, think about them, repent. And if, therefore, you shall not watch, if you're not going to watch, I'm going to come to you like a thief. You're not going to expect it, like a zombie on a meteor. Going to eat your toes. And you won't know the hour that I come. For thou hast a few names, even in Sardis, which have not defiled their garments. And they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. See, there's a group of individuals. They ain't got nothing to worry about. There's a great judgment coming on the land. It's already here, people. It's just going to get more intense like anything else. He that overcomes will be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit has to say to the churches. Now remember, back then there were no Christians, okay? They're Jews, but different ideas of what they were. Hebrews, they had different ideas. There were different sects. There were Pharisees, there were Sadducees, there were all these, right? But there weren't like evangelicals or Pentecostals, okay? So to call yourself a Jew, you could be a follower of Christ, still call yourself a Jew. Back then, Jesus was a Jew. He was a rabbi. He was a teacher. Okay. To the angel of the church of Philadelphia write, now this is the important one, because this is in the East, I believe, as it is. These things say he that is holy, he that is true, he that has the key of David, he that opened and no man shuts, and shuts and no man opens. I know your works. I've set before you an open door that no one can shut. For you have a little strength, and you've kept my word, and you've not denied my name. You got an open door, people. So all these churches, they're all aspects of us at different parts of our journey, where none of us are perfect. But this is Christ speaking to the church. This is the revelation of John when he was in Patmos. Old man, he gets an idea of what Christ's being revealed, what it could look like. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. Now, what is Satan? Satan, it means adversary. It's the resistance. It's the deceiver. If there's truth, the lie is going to reveal the truth, wouldn't it? It's going to test the truth. It's going to strengthen the truth, if not overpower it, which say they are Jews but are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them. See, this is not because they're Jewish, they're of the synagogue of Satan. They were all Jewish. He's talking about people that appear to be godly, that are doing horrible, monstrous things. That's the synagogue of Satan. It's the false light. Does anybody hear me? Am I talking to myself? So he's talking to Philadelphia. Because you've kept the word of my patience, I will also keep you from, this is what's coming, the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world and all them that dwell on the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold fast which thou hast, that no man take your crown. We just had the virus of the crown. The name of the stuff that they give you, supposedly, that's supposed to help, they had a name for it, a literal name, split up into two words, which, I mean, if it's one word, but for whatever reason, I saw it as two words, comer and then nady. And I was like, comer, because I speak, yo hablo español un poquito, estudio en un colegio, en una universidad, y trabajar mucho. It was, I speak a little Spanish. Comer is spelled a little differently there, but it means to consume, to eat. Natty looks like the word nativity. Lo and behold, to consume the nativity of Christ. They want to destroy it. To consume the nativity of Christ. I'm not saying that's what it literally does. I'm not saying it like cuts off. People like have videos that cuts off your connection. I don't know. I didn't take it. I don't know. I hope not. I hope not. That'd be horrible. I don't think it's possible. Can anything separate us from the love of Christ, people? Can anything? Can tech? No. I know of nothing. Nothing in the earth, nothing beneath the earth, nothing. Nothing can separate us from the love of God. Nothing. It's impossible. I'll make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not. They say that they are godly and they are not. Behold, I'll make them come and worship before my feet, and to know that I've loved you. It's interesting. It's interesting. Because you've kept my word of patience. I'm going to also keep you from temptation. I come quickly. Him that overcomes, I'll make a pillar in my temple of God, and he shall go no more out. I'll write upon him the name of God, the nature of God. The very nature of God will be written upon our foreheads. That's in our thoughts. Power and wisdom of God, that's what Christ is. Christ, the power and wisdom of God. And the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem. It's going to come down from heaven. This is it. It's come down from heaven. Heaven's within you. It's here now. I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before us. Philadelphia, the churches. These powerful people that think because they got all this money, they got all this, they've turned their backs on God. They worship their own God or their own idea of God. They may believe that there is, but it's their ego. They're worshiping it's the Antichrist. This is not good. This is not good. It's not good at all. Because it's not true. And if it's not true, it can't last. It has to be done away with. God creates everything in 6 days, 6,000 years. We're in the last day. 8 is upon us. A new beginning and an end. The question is, where do you want to find yourself in the days to come? Because Elon's table just got me a little freaked out. All right. I love each and every one of you. You know what? Before I go, let me see if I can just pull this up because I say things sometimes and I want to back it up. Give me a second. If you're still here, that's great. Go to my videos. Let me see if I could find that video that I did of years ago where I put Mr. Jones in the center. And I had a feeling. I don't know why. I just had a feeling that he could be like the one that set it all off. And what did that have to do with? Do you remember? Children. Bears. Bears and children. Look into the story of Alicia. It's devastating. Devastating. They just mocked God. You know, people today, they mock God. And that's a sad thing. You know what? Maybe I'm going to do a display transfer and move this over. So maybe I can actually just show you everything I'm doing at the same time. Move this over here so you can actually see what I'm doing. Here we go back then. I mean, that was 2 years ago, right? Look at all the stuff. I've been talking about this for a long time. A long time. It was the dream of the comet, Neowise. I make all things new. Now, this was from 2 years ago. Is this going to happen next? Who knows? It did happen on Independence Day, by the way. That was Neowise. That was a weird dream. Very strange. You know, these things that we've been picking up on, and it's gone down for quite some time. I mean, I love these decodes. It's when a person plans something, what they do is they don't, you know, they sit down, they plot it out. Okay? Plagues of Egypt are coming. Yeah, and they came. Very, right? Woe to you, great city. In an hour, you're going to be brought to ruin. There was Oprah falling over. If you remember that. All of these things. Do you know, like, exactly they had a ritual at the Capitol? Almost exactly. I don't know if it was how many years exactly to the date, but it was like on the anniversary of the, it was weird. Right? They did a big thing right there at the Capitol. Satanic temple. Invocation. And then, like, a perfect time later, what ends up happening? What ends up happening? Oh, this is funny. Right next to it, I'm missing the fact that we have the Simpsons predicting all of this stuff. Very weird. All right, let's see if I can find this. Talked about it back then, too. You know, all of these things, this is nothing new. There's the all-seeing eye in his concert, right? Oh, that was me before. That's me now. By the way, if you have an issue with weight, don't think that you can't beat it. You can. I was heavy. Woo! It's all right. Gives us something to do. Let me see if I can find that Alex Jones picture. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Damn it. And I just said 2 curse words too. Oh no. You're going to know that sometimes I swear. You're going to know. Here's the thing. Yeah, that was back in the day. Hero or pawn. Because why, right? Why? Because what was he wearing? He's wearing that shirt again. Hero or pawn? Who knows? That's the thing. Who knows? Sorry it's taking so long, y'all. I've done a lot of videos. Let's see where you are. I don't want to miss it. I wonder if it's one of those shows that was booted. Here we go. CERN, 4 years ago, occult time traveler, artist in residence, which was very strange. Lighthouse, that's funny. I'm going to have to go back and watch this tonight and see what this is about. But time travel is a big thing. It's a big thing, especially we were just talking about in the show. All of these people. Oh, here it is. It's going to get worse. This is what you need to go. Oh, good grief. Where is this? All right. If I can't find it, y'all, I did it. And I'm not lying to you. I'm not lying to you. Maybe it was a live stream. Who knows? Who knows? All right. I'm too tired. I got to go. Let me say goodbye to everybody in the chat. You know what I'll do is if I find it, I'll put it in the I'll put the link up so you can all watch that video. I'm grateful you're all here. Thank you so much for coming. And Katie, thank you very much. And everybody else, I love you. Go into the bottom, on the bottom of the old video. You see in the description where it says more. I think you just click that. Make sure you're subscribed. You can go into the links. You can get yourself some merch. You can get yourself a copy of the Calling, which talks about this day, by the way. Oddly enough. Make sure you subscribe. That's a big deal. Okay? And I love you all. Have the best day ever. Thank you for coming on. And please do pray. Please do consider not blaming other people. Please do consider praying for people that are despicable. I got to work on that too. It's the only way to win the game is to love. Because if God is love, only the truth remains in the end. It's better to be broken willingly than to be broken. There's a passage that says that the second death will not hurt you. We're all going to take part of it, but it's not going to hurt you. You don't want to be crushed to powder, like they say about those that Christ comes in an instant. In an instant. These people are going to be at your feet if you do the right thing. People will turn back, I promise you. Don't get stressed out. I don't really know for a fact if zombies are coming. I think it could just be more of a spiritual thing.